crew holding down the park. You ain't swam with the sharks, you ain't wrestled with the gators. You was never fucking popping, you ain't got no fucking haters, bitch. Niggas like you make me watch out for the traitors.
Give us a second, Israel. I'm finna get it.
True story.
The following is based on real events.
Yo. She didn't care for the Yeezys and the Jordans. Tired of the lies pastors told over organs. Her father just passed, so her heart had a dent. She would struggle with her mother to come up with the rent. Pastor only wanted dollars, something make sense. Till she heard a little story that was something like this. What's your nationality? Come and get a flyer. Do you know we got a dark-skinned Messiah? The devil is deceitful and the white man is a liar. Now she wanna study just to get her knowledge higher. A few months passed and she ain't one with her mother. Since she started learning, they would argue with each other. My mother doesn't understand, I'm not in the code. She needs to respect my decisions as an adult. This is a nice place where nobody will hurt you. Everything's so pretty and we're all wearing purple. It's been a few months, she found a man of the Lord, one who's steady in the word, always sharpening his sword. Stimulates her mind so she never gets bored. Talks to her like a princess and never like a whore. Got her thinking that there's more than only getting the draws. He's such a gentleman, always opening doors. Took her on a date, paid for everything in the stores. From dinner to Michael Kors, he's like, have it, it's yours. She can't believe it, it's all but a dream. Everything is beautiful, all peaches and cream. She says to herself, I'm happy I joined this group. It makes me feel good, I finally found the truth. These other groups, always talking about polygyny. But I found a real man who says he's only into me. What a nice place where nobody will hurt you. Everything's so pretty and we're all wearing purple. One night on their way home, she seen something she ain't like when she went through his phone. Is this why you said that it's hard to take care of me? You wasn't gonna say you got a whole family? I don't understand how you think this fair to me. I've been sharing you, but you ain't been sharing me. Why won't you answer me? But he's thinking carefully. He tried to calm her down, don't get hyped. Couldn't diffuse the situation and they started to fight. He made a wrong turn, then a left and a right. Now they was in a wooded area with not much light. How did all this go wrong? It was such a good night. Said she's gonna tell the bishop out of anger and spite. He said it's not a good idea to cause me this much strife. He should have told the truth and every lie got a price. But if it comes down to my wife, it's gonna be your life. Good night.
I put on for my city, even more for my company. The war might get ugly, fight it until we comfortably sitting in position, our faces all on our currency. Fuck the opposition, we cooking them like an oven bee. Wanna be a soldier, I show you, just come and fuck with me. Put you on to that fly living with fly fringes, fly women and fly linen that vibe with us. Ride with us, cause if you down, you die with us. Come supersize and serve with fries, nigga. Got a spaz on them, the only way that I do it. I keep the flow fluid, pull up in the beige Buick, hop out with the same type mask that Bane uses. Me, I was born in the dark, we changed to it. Rappers went soft out here when he raised music. Stay true with no skinny jeans or tight blazers. Beam on the chopper like a lightsaber. Gear like a Jedi, power as Darth Vader. Shot, giving you double like bar waiters. Cutting off haters, traitors, no more favors. They wanna get with us, we making them sign waivers. I don't make trap rap. This is that plea and cat rap. Do it for them niggas Mossberg up in they backpack. They tired of the projects, feeling just like a lab rat. Second from the Pyrex, wondering where the cash at. But we passed that. I'm just telling you what I'm mad at. Remember, used to seal them things tight in the glad wrap. So my demographic is soldiers that had it tragic. Pistol in the package of dreams that live in lavish. No family, no team, but had to manage. We get them off the streets and get them niggas established. Getting back to business and getting rid of you faggots. No homo, way I ride a Caposo Polo. Cause we out here battling dragons but not Komodo. The type that choke Eric Gardner while others snapping photos. The demons that betray Von Martin up in the coffin. Coming for my portion, so hand it over with caution.
Cut all your antics and semantics, now I'm going rampant. With verses written by the hand of God like 10 commandments. These booty bandits in a panic and they acting frantic. The world's tired of that GMO, they want organic. A biohazard to a bastard, situation tragic. This an invasion like we landed from another planet. A boss volcanic, always classic, you don't want no static. With so much flow to flood your city like that bitch Atlantis. Psychosomatic, dynamic, cut from another fabric. The Lord's bringing justice, vengeance for like an Hispanics. White folks are manic, satanic in all their ways and tactics. 400 years of oppression is crossing the Atlantic. His systematic practice got us all ass backwards. He kills us all and acts like we're the real savage. Please excuse me, I'm about to make another status. Fuck America, hashtag no white life matters. They want our head like John the Baptist. White America, been afraid of the black fist. Our trackless, got us on the FBI blacklist. Christ is coming back to knock the world off its axis. Try to sleep on me and I'm flipping over your mattress. Iverson flow, just go, I skip practice. You fake with bitch tendencies, nigga, you an actress. Things just ain't the same for rappers. Ever since the games I've taken over bodies practice. Culture thieves, blood-sucking demons, Count Dracula. It's time to flip it back like a spatula. Spectacular vernacular, rhymes that'll damage her. Sucker MCs can't contend, no got the stamina. They only in it for the cheese like a lab rat. These niggas been ducks. Aflac flow so sick, gotta approach me with a hazmat. We spit that raw hardcore, you scared of the backlash. Wanna clash, homie, we can crash like the NASDAQ. People royalty and we about them like ASCAP. While you trash rap, matter of fact, you can ask that. Right? We're independent, taking over, we don't rock with you. So they want a nigga taken out like the Apocrypha. Don't think I won't hit you cause I'm popular. Ty War been ready for war and so is Kaiser.
Shalom, Israel. This is the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana, and this is ISUPK Kaleem's Tuesday night Brotherhood class, man. And today's lesson will be going over how the Asian man and Asian woman, whatever country they might come from, is not your brother.
Right.
All right, clap it up, y'all. Now, lately in the news, there's been some sort of major shift of Asian hate, some newfound Asian hate coming from, I mean, there's only one major other culture in America, white Americans. White Americans, I suppose, they started to demonize, at least this is what the news and the media would have you believe. They began to supposedly demonize Asians, and there's some sort of newfound hatred for them. And there's this hashtag going on called Stop Asian Hate. Now, for some reason, blacks have took it upon themselves to be the Asian champion for their civil rights. I don't even know what that means. So, I'm going to be breaking down some of the stories about, what's going on with this and things like that, and really so we can really see what it's really about. And it's really not that Asians are being hated in this country, more that this country would do anything than to give justice to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, man.
Right.
What's especially disgusting about this late and breaking news cycle is that blacks are taking it on themselves to fight for this community that has historically abused and used them and does not like them, man. Right. I don't know how this is surprising, but Asians do not like black people. Right. There is a reason why most Asian fathers tell their daughters, if you come home with a black man, I'm gonna disown you.
Right.
And that's not because that's because they hate black people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into that. We're gonna teach you. I'm gonna start with what to do with a brother and what your neighbor is. Give me Mark chapter 12 verse 30. Yeah, man, we're gonna break it all the way down for you tonight. To show you Christians especially that you misinterpret the Bible at every opportunity to follow your lusts. Right. And it's really a lust to want to love somebody who's so easy to love. You know, they got a whole community. It's not drug ridden and, you know, things like that. Their uncles probably didn't molest them or whatever the case might be. And so you want to be a lustful Christian and you want to go after these other people to love them and cater after them when your community needs you. You know what I'm saying? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. And that's what being a brother is. Being there for your brother and being righteous and treating him as yourself. We're going to get into that, though. We'll go ahead and read that out.
Mark 12, what, 30?
30.
Come. Book of Mark, chapter 12, verse 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Go up a verse.
Come.
Verse
29. And Yahweh shall answer them.
Now some Pharisees are coming to Christ and trying to get him to trip up somewhere in his mission and in his ministry, man. Right. And that ministry is to forgive sins, but not forever. You know what I'm saying? Right. Christ came to bring grace so that you don't have to die for being a wicked sinner. And these people came to Christ to try to trip him up. Go ahead, read.
And Yahweh shall answer him. The first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord.
All right, keep reading.
Verse 30. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
Now this is what Christ calls the first commandment. You know what I'm saying? Something in the 10 Commandments. The first commandment, it is written as the first commandment. You know what I'm saying? Now, if the law is done away with, I guess you could hate, you know, for you Christians out there, if the law is done away with, then Christ is lying right here. And you can hate the Lord and still get into heaven. I don't really know what the rules are in your body. But keep reading, Ike. He's going to break it down.
Come. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
And you shall love the Lord thy God with all your heart. That's what Christ said for you to do. Keep reading.
And with all thy soul.
And with all your soul. Now, this is not like a feeling you get. This isn't an emotion. This is an action.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you love your wife, you're going to take care of her. You're going to be there for her and for the kids, and you're going to talk to her when she needs someone to talk to, and you're going to guide her and things like that. That's what you will do if you love your wife. Right. Likewise, for a wife to her husband, if she loves her husband, she'll do things that reflect that feeling or reflect that notion of love. Right. If your wife cheats on you, then your wife hates you.
Right.
Your wife doesn't love you, at least not enough to love this next man over here. Now that's just to break down what love is for you Christians. Love is following the law, statutes, and commandments according to the Bible.
Right.
Keep reading now.
Come. And with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. Verse 31. And the second is like, namely this: thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Now the second one, right below that, is that you should love your neighbor as yourself, man. Now, you Christians, this is why blacks are so eager to hop to the side of an Asian some Asian grandma who might be getting beat up. Right. You know what I'm saying? Even though that Asian grandma runs the store in your neighborhood and does not love you, man. She's gonna jack up them prices and send all the money that your family gives her family back to her neighborhood and back to her country.
Right.
And that is to further show that she does not love you. If she loved you, she would see your empower. When is the last time an Asian store owner has ever given you a free anything, a free gallon of milk? They know you're starving. They know the situation that you're in your neighborhood, and still they leech off you.
Right.
Without any form of mercy, and at every chance they get, they show you their hate. This is commonplace in the country. Let's say you've never met an Asian who's treated you like that. Let's say you've grown up not in the hood, which is what you would have to grow up in to not have seen what I just described to you.
Right.
Well then we could go as big as Hollywood. There's a movie coming out called Boogie there's an Asian man. There's an Asian man, right? And he's trying to be the best basketball player in the hood. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to fight all the odds, and the odds are his family, school, and black people. Right. The thugs in the hood who are black. Now, I was born in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I still I live a block away from the hood. I would go through there all the time and shop. But the thing is, I have never seen an Asian person be oppressed in the hood. Nobody is on the basketball court saying, "Man, you can't ball here. You can't hoop here." That shows you right there what the Asian community and Asian writers, an Asian man wrote that, of course, what they think of you. You know what I'm saying? And in the movie, he's trying to game up some sister. So black people are good enough to take to bed, but not good enough to respect as a human being, right? You know what I'm saying? That shows you what the Asian community, that's a glimpse of what the Asian community really feels about you, man. Keep reading, Doc.
Okay. There is none other commandment greater than these.
There is no other commandment than loving the Lord with all thy heart, thy soul, and thy strength, and loving your neighbor as yourself.
Right.
We're gonna break down what a neighbor is, because it's not an Asian man. It's according to give me Leviticus 19 and 17. According to the Christian church, your neighbor is right next door. Mm-hmm. That's a lie. And if that is true, 99% of you, that would be a black person. That's your neighbor. And that's what the Bible describes. I'll get you what the Bible describes as your neighbor in a second. But because of the Christian and Catholic Church, you think your neighbor is everybody.
Right.
Which does not make sense. It's in the context of the Bible, man. Israelites live with Israelites, man.
Right.
Their only neighbors were other Israelites, unless they were being occupied by another country like Rome, or in slavery or captivity like in America today.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you got it, Doc, read it.
Okay. The book of Leviticus, chapter 19, verse 17.
Hold that. I'm going to use that later.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
You shall not hate thine brother in thy heart. Okay, all right. Seems cut and dry. Your brother, right? You know. Keep reading, Doc.
Okay. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Hold up. It's saying thou shalt in any wise, saying like this, the word brother and neighbor are interchangeable right here. What's going on? Keep reading now. Maybe it was a typo. Maybe they didn't get that one right.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
You shall in any wise keep reading now. Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Hold up. This is talking about the children of thy people. This is in what book, Doc?
Leviticus 19:17.
It's talking to Levites. The children of Levites people are the children of Israel.
Right.
He's saying your brother and your neighbor and the children of your people are all one thing. So how does a Christian somehow translate that into a Chinese man? How does a Christian somehow translate that into the devil that the Bible speaks of, the white man, the so-called white man? How do you translate that? Keep reading now.
Come.
Get to the end of 18.
Come. But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
You should love your neighbor as thyself. Now, Christ just said this in Mark. Look, man, your neighbor is the children of thy people. It's the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians that live in your hood, man.
Right.
That's who you're supposed to love. You're not supposed to be championing some sort of effect every time somebody dies, and it seems like and it's painted with a broad stroke that they're being hated in America. This is a lie.
Right.
These are all lies. I'm gonna break this down, man. Look, a massacre just happened, I believe, today in Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, either today or yesterday, and it was a white man killing white people. Where is Stop White Hate? Why don't those white people get a hashtag, man? Because white people kill white people like it's like I draw breath. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for them.
Yeah, right.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, that's the same thing that happened in Atlanta, Georgia. That was just a white man killing people. Right. It was not because they were Asian. It wasn't because he didn't like how they looked, or he didn't like how they smelled, or he didn't like the way their eyes looked, their squinty eyes, or the way they talk, that thick accent. I'm not even gonna try to do that. Like they gonna crucify me.
Right.
Look, it's not because of any of that.
Right.
That shooter's name was Aaron Long. He did not shoot up that goddamn brothel, that that massage parlor, because those women were Asian. He shot up that massage parlor because they were prostitutes. Because they were women he already knew, like most murders are done. Most murders are somebody you know, and that devil knew those women in that massage parlor, and he did something with them. I'm gonna break it down though. I'm gonna pull up an article for you to read.
Yeah, before you go further out,
go ahead.
If I could,
go ahead.
Just go back when in Leviticus you said in that scripture saying thy brother. Okay, take it back. You think if an Asian man were to read that scripture, what would he think who his brother is?
Right.
Well, if a white man would have wrote that scripture, who would they think who their brother is? Black, Hispanic, Native American people, they hear that scripture, they think automatically the white people, the Asian man, the Arab man, the African, they're brothers. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know we're destroyed as a people.
That's
you know what I'm saying? We don't know that the Bible is about one particular nation, bro. It's like it's all about one particular nation. You understand? We are sort of people that we think we want to include everybody. But the Asian men don't want to include nobody except for their own. White men don't want to include anybody. But if they do want to include somebody, that means they've been beneath them. That's it. Africans don't want to include nobody.
That's right.
You understand? We the only people that want to include people that don't like us, man. It's like it.
That's right, man. What you're bringing up is so heavy too. Somehow an Asian can read that and know what it means. If he thought this book pertained to him, he would have been like, oh, this means I'm supposed to love other Asians. Right. I'm supposed to love that Chinese man next to me or that Japanese man next to me. Blacks, we teach this to blacks all the time, and they cannot put it through their head that it's talking about other black people, other Hispanics, and other Native Americans, man. And we have a big enough fight going on in America that you do not have time to be raising the flag for every other nationality that gets picked off by a white man. Right. You know what I'm saying? You'll be here all day getting nothing done. Damn but I'm gonna tell you something. Go ahead. Go ahead. Let me get this.
Just to your point, it's so heavy because like you said, we speak about this message all the time to love our brothers. And then at camp, like it's always like whenever we say these things, love thy brother, love love our brother, love ourselves, gather together. The first thing our people want to do is be like, well, what about the white man? What about everybody? You know what I'm saying? What about all these other nations? When it's black, Hispanic, or Native American naked on the street with you,
right?
No clothes,
that's right.
No food, without resources. That's how it's like.
Good night,
man. Look, good night. Yeah, man, and that's the case. Look, Asians already understand that they're supposed to love each other. That's why you don't see homeless Asian people. Right. I have never seen an Asian homeless cat. I don't even know. Me either. I mean, it's not like something that comes together because they know that they should love each other. Yeah, I'm right. You know what I'm saying? They'll give each other a job and put up with each other. And I know they're drug addicts. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact they're drug addicts in the Asian community, but somehow they're not homeless, man. And that's because they love and support each other like But even more so, blacks and Hispanics should be loving and supporting each other.
Right.
We shouldn't have anybody home, any of our brothers and sisters homeless out there, man. We need to be taking care of our own, man.
Right.
Instead, we think so selfishly of ourselves until somebody else who isn't a black or Hispanic gets hurt, and
Right.
then you're jumping for joy to go help them, man.
Right.
That's in part of what's destroying our community. And you
Right.
learn these filthy habits from the so-called devil that the Bible speaks
Damn
of.
right.
And you learn it from that Christian and Catholic church, man.
Right.
You learn how to hate your brother from there. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of y'all ain't even Christians, but y'all are acting like Christians.
Right.
Your morals and your behaviors are Christian by how you act, man. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? We can see it all over you. You move exactly how a Christian moves, if not worse.
Right.
I would call Christians worse, actually. Because some of you cats in the world, you wouldn't go out there and sleep with another man's wife, but a Christian would.
Right.
A good Christian pastor would do that. He'll sleep with your son.
Good night.
Salakia. That's how they get down.
Right.
And it's that lack of morality and that lack of love and that lack of caring that you are showing, that you're reflecting out there every day on Instagram and on Twitter when you say stop Asian hate.
Right.
What about your people?
Yeah, right.
Mexicans, what about Vanessa Guillen, man? What about her? What about blacks? The laundry list of slain is ridiculous.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying? We got good night. We got Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, all of them. All of them. Joe Biden got elected and we just forgot all about him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But not here in the ISUPK. We still remember.
Damn right.
We still remember, and that's why we could never love some nasty rat-eating Asian, man.
Right.
That's why we could never do that, because we remember those who were wrongly murdered by, our adversary, the devil.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But let me get this article for you. Look, get this is it. I believe this is it. Read the title of this. Yeah, and then read the first paragraph. Or you want to get it out? Yeah, let Cal Kazai get it.
All right, no sweat. I got stuck at that one word. I'm like, what?
Evangelical.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's behind Christ?
This is the Washington Post. Atlanta shooting suspect was a patient at Evangelical Treatment Center close to first targeted spot.
Okay, so this is showing you that he was in a Christian treatment center trying to get over something. What? Keep reading. Now get the first paragraph. What was he trying to get over?
Okay. The first spot targeted in the Atlanta area killings this week was in an area very familiar to Robert Aaron Long.
It was in an area very familiar to what's his name? Aaron Long? Robert Aaron Long. I'm gonna call him Aaron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He knows his way around inside of town, man. He knows about all these massage parlors and what they get down into. Keep reading now.
Okay. It is located within a mile of an evangelical treatment facility where Long, charged in the shooting, spent time as a patient for what he described as sex addiction.
All right, he's clocked into this church because he's a sex addict. He calls himself a sex addict. He can't control his urges to buy prostitutes and get happy endings and things like that. So he sought help from a Christian, which if he wasn't white, I would call him foolish, but he's a white man, so that's the best thing for him, I guess. Keep reading.
According to a former roommate, the evangelical facility, Hope Quest in Aceworth, Georgia, sits in a secluded forest at the end of a residential street about 30 miles outside Atlanta and down the road from Young's Asian Massage.
Young's Asian Massage. That's not, Asians they're not dumb, man. They do play on words with their names, man. Like let me think, man. But Young's Asian Massage sounds perverted. That sounds like you want to get a young Asian massage, you come here. Keep reading that. That's how they think, man. Thinking on dollars, you know what I'm saying?
Come. Police say that after killing 4 people and wounding a 5th there, Long drove 27 miles to 2 more spas in Atlanta where he fatally shot 4 more people.
Good night.
Wow.
This devil was so upset at these Asian women. Well, you know, not because they're Asian, but because they're prostitutes. He was so upset at these prostitutes that he was like, man, they're the reason why I can't get better. They're the reason why I can't stop having. They're the reason why I can't control my sexual urges, man. Because these women are right around my corner. I can just pull up, park, get out, go see Chun-Li real quick. Boom, bop, bow. I'm out of there. And now I walk out with a sense of shame. This is Aaron's thinking. He's so shameful in his thoughts. He's like, man, what is wrong with me?
Right.
Why can't I control my urges and this and that? This disgusting individual. And that's why he went up and shot up these Asian salons, man. That's why he gunned down through the windows all these women, man. Not because they're Asian, but because they're prostitutes and he can't control himself.
Right.
Keep reading, No, go ahead.
If I could, that's a trait of a sociopath, man. You know, back in the 60s when they had a lot of people doing serial killer type stuff, man, there's always a motive behind something. Now they call it, oh, he just has a disease that he just sexual, what do you call it? What is sexually repressed or what? Yes, he's sexual. He needs sex, basically.
Yeah.
Now that's the reason. Now that's the excuse for him killing.
Sex
See,
addict,
nothing like the scripture says, nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? The white man is a goddamn devil nobody speaks of. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
You know what I'm saying? The thing is, he's in for bloodlust. That's what he wants. It don't matter what it is, who it is. You know what I'm saying? He want that blood. You know what I'm saying? So back in the 60s, man, they used to take people. You know what I'm saying? They call them serial killers back then. Now he just sex with the pride. He just sex.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Sloppy.
Hey, that's heavy. I give that a hand. And that's what a lot of your serial killers were back in the day too.
Damn
and
right.
those people are still here today. Y'all just call them by a different name.
Damn.
Y'all call them. Y'all think they good now. I don't want to say that word, but y'all think they just got a sexual addiction or they got a weird kink
Right.
or something going on with them. When really that he's the same as that serial killer chopping off feet, 27 women's feet a few years ago or whatever the case might be. He the same as. All these other serial killers, of course, white.
Right,
I don't even got to explain that to you. Chopping off women's faces and other body parts and, of course, raping them and things like that. This is the same mentality that those men have.
Right.
And you can't say that those serial killers were hated Asians. I think they just really, really liked women, too.
Right.
So, and that mixed with their disgusting, natural, violent, and aggressive behavior to where they started serial killing women and men in some aspects. You know what I'm saying? From the Zodiac killer to what are all these cats? Ted Bundy, all these cats. And this is just another serial killer. Aaron Long. He's just not. What do you call it? He's not as clever. People are telling him there's nothing wrong with him all the time. In this church, I'm sure they're telling him, Aaron, you just got to read the Bible. It'll be better for you. Read that John 3:16 and those urges will go right away. Call on the name of the Lord. Don't even have a name for the Lord. And, the devil will flee from you. When he doesn't know, he is the devil. Man.
Damn right.
He is the devil.
Damn right.
And so Aaron, he builds up all this aggression. He hasn't killed a woman or had sex with a woman in so long. He's like, you know what, man? Something's going to bust today. It's gonna be this. It's gonna be this AR, or it's gonna be me, or it's gonna be both in Aaron's mind. And so much so, he drove from one massage parlor to the next.
27 minutes. Huh?
Not because he hated Asians, but he knew that's where the hose was at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Salakia.
Damn right.
We got any more on that article? I want to get to a part where it says where he favored the massage parlors for sexual favors or something of that nature. You got some? Read it out.
Hope Quest has ties to major evangelical institutions and has promoted ex-gay therapy.
Okay, so I guess they're also in the same, and that's along the same lines. White homosexuals have a higher violent domestic violence rate than heterosexuals. You know what I'm saying, or straight people. Now the behavior is the same. When you become a sexual deviant mixed with being a devil, you get very, very violent very, very quickly. Apparently, this church is known for treating homosexuals to stop them from being homosexual. Well, keep reading, Knock. What is it? What else does it say?
The idea that people can become heterosexual through counseling. Long, 21, who grew up in a conservative Southern Baptist church, was a patient at the treatment facility in 2019 and again in 2020. According to his former roommate Tyler Bailey.
Look, I didn't even know this. He was there for being a homosexual. Okay. Look, I did not even know. I didn't even know that. I did not even know that, and that explains a lot. Wow. That explains a lot, man. Homosexual. Look, good night. Homosexuals are incredibly violent. Yes. As we, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, know from being out on the street. I believe Commander General Yohana quotes all the time a woman coming across talking about cutting off General Mahaiman's, balls and shit. Salaki. Super Salaki. You know what I'm saying? That's a violent person because of that demon that's on them that changes how they sexually interact. Right. You know what I'm saying? They taking in all these different ideals that are radical and violent in nature. And generally, homosexuals get to be homosexuals through a disgusting, violent acts like rape or molestation. You know what I'm saying? Right. So Aaron, something like that happened to him when he was younger, and he was already at this facility before for that same violent, disgusting sexual behavior. Right. Now, when he grew into a man, he stopped wanting to be gay, I guess, from all the shock treatment these evangelical Catholics were giving him. I'm sure they were beating Aaron down up in there. Good night. But after he grew into a man and he knew he shouldn't sleep with women anymore or sleep with men anymore, he was like, you know what, I need to get with some women. But he still has that, that disgusting, violent, natural behavior he has. And, he ran into a few massage parlors and he went back to that same evangelical church to get help for that sex addiction. And I guess after that second round of beating, he just couldn't take it. Aaron couldn't take it anymore. He was so sexually frustrated and violently abused that he was like, you know what, I'm finna be, what do they say? I'm finna be the abuser. That's the mentality behind homosexuality to begin with. It's a defensive reaction. It becomes a mechanism. So you stop being the victim, and you start making people victims. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And Aaron took that. Aaron multiplied that by 10 or 100. You know what I'm saying? You got anything else in there, Rock? Don't worry about it. It's the Washington Post. Liberals wrote that one. Give me Ecclesiastes. Give me I'm gonna explain. Give me Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 1. I'm gonna explain why Aaron is like that, man. Naturally, Aaron is wicked. The Bible says the wicked are estranged, go astray from birth, man. Right. He was born like that. He was born to more or less kill or afflict and oppress people, man. This is in the Bible, and I'm gonna break it down for you. But these massacres, these violent acts, these Asian grandmas getting punched in the face, it is not because they're Asian. Trust me. Nobody gives a goddamn about an Asian person, one way or the other. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But it's because that they just live in a country with a violent individual who harms anybody in their own community. Look, white people kill white people like it ain't no tomorrow. when that Arctic blizzard was down here, good night. There was a devil killed two. Look, a white man came out and complained at his neighbor because his neighbor was shoveling snow in front of his driveway. And they got into it for a little bit, and the neighbor who was shoveling the snow, he came out. He was like, what's all? What's his wife? The neighbor who was shoveling snow. His wife came out and got into the kerfuffle, and they started yelling back and forth. He was like, you know what? I got something for y'all. He went back to his house. He came back out with the rifle, and he shot them both dead in the snow, over shoveling snow in their yard. Now, if you're the police chief of that city, you would say that white man is having a bad day. Good night. Which is a terrible look. Look, man. Look, Asians, y'all can't be mad at that. Y'all can be mad at the devil, but don't come to me and my brothers. We got nothing to do with y'all.
Right.
We ain't got nothing to do with that mess.
Goddamn right.
Look, man. Like the police chief in Atlanta, in that town in Atlanta said. He said this white man, Aaron Long, is just having a really bad day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what they always say. They always say that to justify and relate to that murderer, that blatant serial mass shooting murderer. Mm-hmm. So that because the white police chief does relate to Aaron. He's like, you know what, Aaron, I understand. Right. You killed six Asian people and 2 white people. I get it. You had a bad day. We've all had bad days, right? Right. Which shows you how disgusting they're. This is the chief of police, and in his mind, he's like, well, he just killed a few people. I've had days. I've had days like this. Yeah, that's what the police chief of Atlanta thinks. Damn. You know what I'm saying? And if that's not proof enough, I'm gonna bring it out in the Bible. Like, read what you got.
This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves.
The ungodly in their mind, reasoning with, whatever disgusting thing in their mind they got going. He thinks to himself, keep reading.
But not aright.
But it's not right what he's thinking. What he's thinking is backwards, it's disgusting, it's evil, it's hateful. Keep reading.
Our life is short and tedious.
He thinks his life is short and tedious. It's boring, man. There's nothing going on. Keep reading. And
in the death of a man, there is no remedy.
And he thinks when we die, that's it, man. There's no way around death. When we die, it's over. That's what he thinks. YOLO. Not knowing, all men are faced to come back to the earth to live out life again and again. Because reincarnation is in the Bible. Keep reading, Knock.
Okay. Neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave.
He thinks, there's no way around the ultimate death coming to me, man. No man has ever come out of the grave. No man has ever come back to life or revisited the earth. But this is not a right. Keep reading. Okay. Well, call out your verses out.
Verse 2.
All right.
For we are born at all adventure.
He thinks, we just born to have fun, man. Right. We just born. It's like random, man. We could get down. Keep reading.
And we shall be hereafter as though we had never been.
Now this is the wickedness and all. This is the evilness and the wickedness and the thoughts of white men. Read that again,
Okay. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been.
He said, nobody's ever going to remember me. I'm not going to be back here. It's going to be like I was never here when I died. Keep reading.
Okay. For the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart.
He thinks his life is worth very little. If he thinks that about his own life, what does he think about all that lives in that massage parlor when he shot it up? Damn. What does he think about the lives of all those people who he murdered, that police chief locks down or murders or writes and signs the paper and death warrants of those on a daily basis? He thinks it's but like smoke. It's here and then it's gone. You know what I'm saying? He thinks it's like a spark. It shows a little bright light and then it fades away, man. He thinks it's nothing. Damn. Is that the end of verse 3? Keep reading.
3. Which being extinguished, our bodies shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air.
Now the wicked say this in their heart, and it is not right, man. Look, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay. A white man thinks when he dies, no matter how much killing he did, if nobody killed him, he got away with it. Because after this life, it's over. You're gonna come back and revisit the earth, and you're gonna be a captive and a prisoner and a slave to the children of Israel, man, for the sins that you've committed against my forefathers, man. That's in the Bible. Is that the end of verse 3?
Come.
Go to verse 6. Now, man, you gotta realize this is what white people think about their life. How much more do you think they would consider you? They're a wicked and selfish people, and Asians aren't special. I'll tell you something. The white man hates blacks. I know they hate black people.
Right.
I can tell by the ghetto I was born in.
Right.
I could tell by how they pull my brothers over at a higher rate, even though we're less than a third of the population in this country.
Right.
We're pulled at a higher rate than any other, than white people, way more than Asians. You know what I'm saying? That's a blatant targeting and hatred for my people, and the Lord's gonna pay you for that. Asian people, there's nothing. You're just here. You're in the crossfire. You ever know what that's like? Look, they after us, man, and you just in the crossfire.
Right.
And you want a little bit of clout off of the tails of our oppression. You wanna try to equate what you're not even going through.
Right.
You put yourself in the line of fire, man.
Right.
You wanted to come here and get into my ghetto and make money off of the backs of my brothers and my sisters.
Right.
And because you catching some heat from the white man, you're like, damn, it's rough out here for an Asian.
Right.
No, it's not.
Right.
No, it is not.
Right.
It's damn all right. You got a whole Chinatown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got a whole damn Chinatown. You got a whole country you can go back to.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? What do me and my people have? We can't even get justice in this country. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And Mexicans and all my Northern Kingdom and Southern and Central South American brothers and sisters, man, and they're oppressed in their own country by this devil, man. With embargoes from every NATO country out there, God damn it. They're oppressed and starving in their own country.
Right.
My Venezuelan brothers and sisters have to eat rotten meat to survive.
Damn.
And that's so expensive, they can't even afford it. Go ahead.
Hey, Shalaki, what you saying so heavy out? Because just because few of the people died in Asians died in the parlor, what about how many black Hispanic Americans died? How many Hispanics in the border suffering right now? Just because 2 of y'all, 3 of y'all people are dying, that ain't nothing compared to the most children that's suffering right now in America. You understand? So you go back in the day in the gold mine era. Asians came here to benefit off what we built.
Right.
You know what? While we stuck in slavery or going through oppression, they came up over here. Right. So we don't want to hear about a couple of you dying. You understand? Right. We're not here for that. We don't want to hear that. And black Hispanic Native Americans should never want to hear that. Should never agree with that. You understand? What the white man did to us is way worse than what they did for a couple. How many died? 2 Asians? You know what I'm saying?
6.
6?
6.
Okay.
Asians.
So
yeah,
what?
Yeah, damn right.
Damn.
Get out of here. You know what's crazy? When those Asians came here to work, they came here willingly over here to work on that railroad and every other odd job they could get in this country. It's because China sucks and they wanted to get over here. It's a little better. And after the history was written, they tried to complain about how they were being treated as if it was the same as a black man, and that's a lie. That's a lie. Asian people were doing just fine in this country, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Black people were still getting lynched and murdered to this day.
Damn right.
To this day, I've never seen an Asian man hanging from a tree.
Damn.
Have you? I've never seen an Irish man hanging from a tree either.
Right.
Or any other nationality if they're not so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American Indian. I have seen all of them.
Right.
I've seen pictures and parties of lynching parties of them on trees.
If I could, what's a picnic? What a picnic is,
Pick-a-nicker.
Yeah, damn
Yeah,
right.
that's what a picnic really is to a white man. And it's not pick a Asian. There's a reason it's not pick an Asian or pick an Arab, because they don't really hate Arabs. They really hate niggas.
Good.
And you're just in the way of their hatred, man. Their blind hatred for against themselves and their own very life. You know what I'm saying? As we just brought out here in Wisdom of Solomon, man, they hate their own life. So much so that they will abuse it and everyone else's around them into the death, man.
That's right.
Go to verse 6,
Come. Verse 6. Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present.
Now Aaron said, you know what, man, my life is short. Let me just go be gay. Until his parents would administer him into a Catholic church and they beat him halfway to death. And then he's like, well, let me just go buy a bunch of whores. You know what I'm saying? Read that again.
Come on, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present.
He said, let him enjoy the good things that are present. He thinks prostitutes are good. He thinks murder is good. He thinks rape, robbery. The white man thinks all these things are good. If the white man has an inconvenience, a small inconvenience in life, and he ends up murdering 6 or 8 people, the other white police chief will say, well, he must have been having a bad day. He must not have been enjoying the things in life. So he went out and he murdered everybody who was getting in the way of his good time. Keep reading now.
Come. And let us speedily use the creatures like in you, like as in youth.
He said, let's quickly use the creatures like in youth. He's saying, get them while it's young. Get it while it's high. Use up and soak up the earth, man. That's why you got fracking and sinkhole. Well, and sinkholes happening everywhere. You know, that's the sign of the Lord's judgment, man.
Right.
The goddamn plastic islands of almost the size of, you know, a small country of trash and plastic in the ocean because the white man's the devil.
Right.
And he doesn't care about what comes after his life. He just cares about what's in his life.
Right.
If it's enjoyable to him. No matter if it's big or if it's small. Keep reading.
Come. 7. Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointment.
Let's get drunk, man. That's what the white man says to himself. Let's get drunk. Let's use it all up. Use up everything good. Don't hold nothing back. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let's murder all of these. If we don't rape them, we'll murder them, all these Native Americans. That's what he says. Because after they taught us how to survive in this land, what else are they good for? I'm good for my life, so let's get rid of theirs. That's what the white man thinks in his mind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, man? And Asians, and it's disgusting for Asians to even try to equate themselves to you, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. It's disgusting. It's insulting, really. And it's even more insulting for blacks and Hispanics to be like, yeah, man, stop Asian hate. What Asian hate?
Right.
Where are the Asian children on the border locked up in a cage? Asians illegally immigrate in this country. Asians make up 90% of the illegal immigrants in this country. There is no cage for an Asian man or an Asian woman or an Asian child, but there is one for you, so-called Hispanic man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What Asian hate? Asians get grants to come from China, don't know a lick of English, come stay with they cousin or just by themselves. They get $100,000 grants to open a business. Wasn't even born in this country. What about you, black man? You were born here. You were born in poverty. Can you get that grant? No, you can't.
Right.
Why not? Because there's no Asian hate, but there's hate for niggas.
Damn right.
We don't like niggas. America does not like niggas. That's not even a news flash. There is no Asian hate. It's a lie, man. And I saw these Asians are bold, man. I feel like I've been seeing them more out in public. They've been puffing out their chests. You know, like, yeah, finally niggas see how hard it is being an Asian. Man. What Asian is getting pulled over by the police and getting murdered in the car for no reason?
Right.
While he's unarmed. I have not seen that video yet.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Asians are so disgusting, man, that they're taking every they're making proud strides to be like, yeah, blacks, why don't y'all stand up for us, man? Why don't y'all stand up for us? When have they ever stood up for us?
Right.
Well, they've been in our neighborhoods for years. Even back since the railroad, like this priest brought out. When have they ever been down with us?
Right.
Even back then, they knew to separate themselves and stick with their own, man.
Right.
But blacks and Hispanics don't know how to do that.
Right.
They after so much destruction and Christianity has entered their community, they have forgotten who their brothers and sisters and neighbors are, man.
Right.
And that's black. That's the only neighbor to a black man is another black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, man.
That's right.
And all the vice and versa in there.
That's right.
You fighting for these Asians does nothing for your ghetto.
Right.
Asian people are not in your ghetto. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know which part of this doesn't make sense for some
Exactly.
of you idiots out there.
Right.
Keep reading on.
I'm done. And let no flower of the spring pass by us.
Good night. He's saying pluck everything up right when it's growing, right in spring. And you know, most things aren't even harvestable in spring. But he's like, get it while it's budding, while it's young, while it's hot. Eat it up, man. Kill all the buffalo. Destroy it all. I ain't even eating most of them. Just kill them. Because I don't like those Native Americans. Murder them. Genocide them. That's what the white man believes in his heart. That's what he thinks. This is in the Bible.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? What verse you at, Ag?
Verse 8.
Read it.
Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. 9.
Go to 10, Ag.
Come. Verse 10. Let us oppress the poor, righteous man.
Now this is who the wicked really oppress. They oppress who?
The poor, righteous man.
Asians aren't poor in this country.
Right.
I don't. Fight me on that one. Fight me if Asians lead in this country in poverty. The wicked oppress the poor and righteous man. Keep reading.
Come. Let us not spare the widow.
And he says, don't even spare that single mother. Surely he doesn't, man. Puts her under every contract you can't even see your man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to get this welfare check, you know what I'm saying? Read that. Keep reading that.
Come. Nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age.
He oppresses the young and the old, man. He doesn't give a damn who it is. You can hang on this tree like the rest of them. I've seen those pictures of young and old. I've seen children be hung.
Right.
Good night. What's the youngest man to ever be executed in this country? What's his name?
George Steiny Jr.
George Steiny Jr. Yeah. That brother was about 10 years old, I believe.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He was 9, and I think he had his birthday in jail. Then they put phone books on the electric chair, wet that soap, and they killed that brother because a white woman lied, I think. You know what I'm saying? Black men from their youth and up are being hunted and oppressed by the wicked, man.
Right.
The so-called the devil that the Bible speaks of, man.
Right.
The white man, not Asian people. I have not seen an Asian person be electrocuted. I haven't seen him hang from no tree. I haven't seen him getting stopped by no cop and murdered and none of that.
They barely in jail, man. They barely in prison.
I doubt they're in jail at all. They post bail. That's why they're not in jail.
Right.
Keep reading now.
Come.
Let me see.
Verse 11. Let our strength be the law of justice.
They say in their heart, let our strength be the law of justice, man, which is disgusting because they use the law to oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, man.
Right.
Case in point, but not Chinese people. Chinese people, good night. You're afforded every sort of leniency this country has to offer. But goddamn, what's the Mount Rushmore is built on a Native American reservation,
Right.
and because of certain laws that the white man wrote, they cannot build. They have to let people come in to come see Mount Rushmore and things like that, and And that legislation was only drafted on the negotiation that if they build it, they got to put up a Native American chief's face on the mountain as well. His name is Crazy Horse.
Oh yeah, crazy.
It's been almost 200 years and you don't see no face. You know what I'm saying? From redlining to good night to every other law and thing to prevent blacks or Hispanics from getting ahead in this country, it's y'all used from the wicked to oppress you. Right. So they can use you, man.
Right.
And only you. There is no, an Asian is not your brother. They don't suffer the same as you do. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason there's a ghetto for you, man.
That's right.
There's a reason why there is no Asian ghetto. Right. There is a reason there's a Chinatown, though. Right. There's a reason why, you know what I'm saying? They'll take your money, but they won't be your brother. Right. These are facts, man. Asians are so good, man. Asians are so goddamn nasty. And it's really because of the mark of the beast. Right. Asians wouldn't even fake like they like black people so much as they do today if it wasn't for the thought of Christianity and that God loves everybody, man. Right. And that's for the younger generation. Even still to this day, Asians are getting hot that blacks aren't taking up for them. Like it's our responsibility to take up for you. You've been hating us since you got in this stinking country, man. Right. You've been hating and oppressing us like the white man. Right. You know what I'm saying? Look, man. Personally, this is not. I don't. This is not the official stance of the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. But I don't give a damn about a goddamn Asian man at all. I don't. It's nigh unto hatred. You know what I'm saying? Because of what you've done, not because of how you look or your funny accent, which is hilarious, but because of what you've done to my people, man. Right. You know what you've done to my people. Right. You know, but drop that I can give me Ecclesiasticus 13 verse 15. I'm gonna break this thing down, man. The Asian people are not. You're wasting your effort, man. You're wasting your time. You're not really. You're doing. What is that? You're being ineffective of change. You're not changing a goddamn thing in this country. You're wasting your time talking about stop Asian hatred. There is no Asian hatred.
Right. If I could, I just want to say something real quick. All these other nations benefit off the oppression of black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, man. So you come here saying that, what about why y'all not helping us out? You know what I'm saying? Why y'all not help? We being oppressed right now, but you benefiting off of what we built in this country, off our oppression.
Right.
Why should we help you? Why are you helping us? Right. No? Are you getting your hair salons out? You know what I'm saying? Are you giving us money for the neighborhood? Right. You know what I'm saying? Are you putting towards the neighborhood, the suffering of our people, the homeless of our people? You're not doing that. So why we should help you?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Shalaki.
Hey, damn right. And that's completely correct. That's completely correct. An Asian wouldn't help me across the goddamn street.
Good night.
I wouldn't let him, but he wouldn't want to if he could. You know what I'm saying? Let alone. Good night. Video froze up. Give me a second. Salakia. 1 second, Israel.
It froze?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it back.
It's still moving?
Yeah.
That happened last time.
Yeah, but I fixed it.
Most time.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I was saying, man, an Asian wouldn't even help me across the street. And that's just how they are, because they know that they should help their own people across the street, do for themselves, man. But why can't Israel do that? Dang. How come we don't know how to do something so natural to everything on planet Earth, man? Did you got what I pulled?
You said 13, 15?
Yeah. Why can't we do that? Why can't we do something as natural as help our own people, man? And I won't even say, I'm not even gonna cap. Israel has been doing a little better. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers and sisters wasn't going for this BS in the news and on social media talking about stop Asian hatred. They knew in their soul, they're like, what the hell are they talking about? The hell are you talking about? Asian hatred? What are you talking about? There is no Asian hatred. If only they could have did that for homosexuals too. But you know what I'm saying? But we getting there. We starting to get there. We're starting to realize who our enemies are and who our friends are, man. And the closer we get to that, that's a birth and pain of Christ, man. This kingdom is coming. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Judgment judgment is going to come on the nations, man.
Right.
And it's gonna be beautiful in the eyes of the Lord,
Yeah,
and beautiful in my eyes. You know, I don't give a damn. I want justice. I want revenge. I want to get even. I don't want to get. I want to get ahead. You know what I'm saying? For all the things the nations have done to my people, man. And now that now that we're getting closer to that justice, you're trying to inch up close to me so you can duck some shots. Nah, man, you finna get all this smoke. You're finna get justice today, man. You're not oppressed. You haven't gone through anything in this country. You're actually an oppressor.
Right.
You're a taskmaster.
Damn.
And because the goddamn plantation owner stubbed your toe, you feel like you're a slave. You want to act like you're a slave now, and that's not the case.
Good night.
Read that out.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, verse 15. Every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor.
Damn, there goes that neighbor word again. Every beast loveth its like. Rats hang out with rats. You know what I'm saying? Pun intended, like metaphor, pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Snakes with snakes and dogs with dogs.
Yeah, right.
Dog eaters hang out with dog eaters.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying? And read that part about man again.
And every man loveth his neighbor.
And every man loveth his neighbor. Your neighbor, as we broke down earlier, is your nation, man. It's your brother, the children of your people.
Right.
That's who your neighbor is. Everybody should love their neighbor. That's what Christ said. That's a law. That's one of the two great laws that all the rest of the laws of the Bible are written on. But blacks can't seem to get that all the way together. They want to love everybody else's neighbor too.
Right.
They want to love, they want to stop by and smell the Asian rose or whatever the case might be, man. But the grass ain't green on the other side.
That's right.
You'll find out that it's going to be worse over. There's a reason why your grass is dead and your lawn.
Right.
Because a white man poured bleach on it. And you know what I'm saying? And then an Asian man came and poured oil in it. It's not,
Damn.
and until you get back on your side of town and fix it, man, it's gonna stay like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're gonna go over there to, you hanging around these Asians is not going to do anything for your state, for the state of your people in this country or in the world. Keep reading now. Keep reading.
Right.
Verse 16. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like.
All flesh. Look, this is natural. This is natural. All flesh.
Right.
From fish to birds. Schools of fish hang out. You don't see no tunas hanging out with sharks. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Right.
see.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? You don't see tigers walking with birds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody hangs out with their own flesh, man. And so a man should with his own kind. You know what I'm saying? Like at the lunch table. You a brother from the hood, you gonna sit with brothers from the hood. You're not finna go hang out with preppy white kids.
Right.
You understand that this basic natural feature at a young age, but you reject it after enough weekends in the Christian church or enough goddamn propaganda on the news. God loves everybody and you should love everybody and free sex and all alternate lifestyles. After enough of that brainwashing, you start to think there are no real boundaries. There are no real groups of people anymore. You think there is no race. You think there's only one race, the human race. That's not the case, man. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are only for blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians.
Right.
If you try to go outside of that, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna meet an Aaron Long, or a Ted Bundy. You know what I'm saying, or some other gruesome end. You have something to say, Yak? No. Go ahead, keep reading. What verse you in?
I'm in the middle of 16.
All right.
17.
Do you think?
What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb?
That's heavy.
Yeah, look, Why would you look? And that's something for all these interracial relationships I see out here, man.
Say it out.
What business does the wolf have with the lamb, man? You're finna get eaten. You're with your natural born enemy. Speaking to all you, every single one of you interracial relationships, not even just black and white, which is especially disgusting because his forefathers raped yours.
Right.
But to all of you, man, all of them, like y'all are being eaten off of, and they don't even consider you an equal. You're not a wolf like they're a goddamn wolf. You're a lamb. They think of you as food. You're just something here to keep me warm at night, man.
Right.
That's really what they think about you.
Right.
There's so many instances I could bring that up about. A sister read her white boyfriend's phone, and it was full of all sorts of N-words about her in a group chat.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he hung out with her because he wanted the box.
Good night.
And you're gonna realize you think brothers will do anything for the box? Imagine what a white man will do.
Oh yeah.
Imagine a white man will suppress his hatred for you just to get in the box.
Damn.
I pray you survive it. I pray you survive that experience. Goddamn, you got no business hanging out with these other nations, man.
Right.
No business. Keep reading, Knock.
Okay. What fellowship hath the wolf with the lamb? So the sinner with the godly.
So the sinner with the godly. Israel, you're the godly, man.
Yeah, right.
The sinner is every other nation on earth, man.
Right.
Every other one. Every other one is wicked. They don't know what a law, statute, or a commandment is.
Right.
It wasn't given to them. The Lord said he doesn't know them, man. They have no way to be godly.
Right.
But you, naturally, you're a caring and loving man. I know brothers who ain't got a cent, who ain't got 2 pennies to rub together, but they'll give one to a homeless man they see on the street, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But a goddamn devil driving in a Bentley, he says in his heart, life is short. Why would I give to a poor man? Why would I would sooner oppress him and have him work in my factory for 16 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? But that's the difference between you and them. And
Right.
what business do you have hanging out with the ungodly, especially trying to make relationships with them? Good night, man. The same thing in this manner of these Asians. What business do you have hanging out with Asians? Trying to help them have a slightly better time in America, as if America has been bad to Asians.
Right.
There is. Do you know when redlining? Part of redlining is that in certain neighborhoods, in the contract of the deed of the house, not the mortgage, the actual the paper that says this property, if you hold it, it belongs to you. In the deed, it says that you cannot, if you sell this property, you cannot sell it to a Negro.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't say an Asian person.
Negro.
Asians lived in the country. It says a nigger. Don't sell this to a nigger and or a Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? Asians are having a fine time in America, man. It's okay. There is no Asian hatred. I know that's hard for you to swallow because you've seen so many, you've seen 2 videos on the internet, and then they did like 24 hours of coverage on that Atlanta shooting. And, you read things like Washington Post or whatever the case might be. But there is no Asian hatred. Salakia. You know what I'm saying? There is black hatred. That's black hatred. There's black hatred written into the laws of this country. So-called Hispanic hatred written into the laws of this country. To get those cages built, Joe Biden and Barack Obama had to sign a bill and fund the building of those cages, man.
Damn.
That's Hispanic hatred. If they loved Hispanics, they would have built a hotel or something like that. They would have made a way for them to get into the country safely, or they just wouldn't have destroyed their country. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't be paying so pennies on the dollar so my Colombian brothers can pick coca leaves. You know what I'm saying? That's the CIA. You know what I'm saying? FBI. But they hate Hispanics, and so they do that. I do not see that happening in China.
Damn.
For some reason. You know what I'm saying? That's not. In fact, they invite Chinese people over here, even more so much so that they can come so frequently and so often, and that they're the #1 illegal immigrant in the country. I'd say that's Chinese love.
Right.
That's Chinese love, if you ask me. There is no Chinese hate. You know, same thing with the same thing with that Aaron Long thing. You know, I said this at camp. Aaron Long does not hate Chinese people. He really, really likes them.
Dang.
So much so that he frequented their prostitute, their massage parlors that were fronts for prostitution brothels. He frequented them. Now that says he really likes Asian people. He couldn't stop going so much that he sought therapy for it. That's how much he liked him. He couldn't even control how much he liked him. And that much love for Asian people twisted and turned in his demented mind into that shooting you saw in Atlanta. So go ahead.
Oh, Sluggy, if I could, just back on the point, you saying like how Asian people want justice, you know what I'm saying? They want to be like, okay, we oppressed too, you know what I mean? And just to chime in on that, you know what I'm saying? All people in the ghetto, right? All people ain't got no food. All people waiting on the next meal we can have, man. All people waiting on the next, okay, the summer coming up. All people ain't got no AC. It may ran out, you know what I'm saying? Can't pay the bill.
Right.
They in there suffering, man.
That's right.
You understand? They wait on their next time. They waiting on what's going to happen to them next. But instead, Asians come to this America and they good. They got AC. They got food. They got health care. Black Hispanic Americans, we don't have health care like that, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your child get hurt in the middle of the street, you hoping he survive. You hoping he can heal from his wounds. And if you do go to the hospital, you got a bill on you, man.
An enormous bill on you.
An enormous bill, and you in debt. Are they doing it? Are they having any problem like us? So why in the hell we should go for you, man? Why in the hell we should be sympathetic towards what's going on with y'all?
Right. Damn right. Get out of hand. And even more so, man, if we could actually stop fighting for all these wolves in sheep's clothing, all these fake individual communities or whatever that want to align themselves with blacks so bad or act as if they're being oppressed in this country, then we could actually get justice for ourselves, man.
Right.
We could get justice for that, for the abducting and trafficking that's going on in those cages on the border, man.
Damn right.
We could get some justice if we had that trending on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? We could get some justice if we put that on, you know, if we actually cared enough to make a movement about that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of hopping on the Asian train. If we cared enough to keep up the momentum that y'all supposedly had behind George Floyd's murder and Breonna Taylor's murder, man, y'all could actually get some things changed in your community.
Right.
And it isn't, and if you did it under righteous leadership, you would know how to go about that change effectively. And it's not with pleading and praying to the man and the people who murdered your people or encaged and trafficked your people. Right. It's with protecting your community and loving your brother, man. And loving your brother alone. And that's a stemming, that's just a stemming action of it. Then you can protect your people, man. Protect them from the devil, and that's a point in protecting them too, man. Because when you're out here loving and acting like you can date white football players, and now you're surprised you're getting beat down and you're bleeding in the bathroom, well, that's because you were unprotected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
You know, that devil didn't think of you as his sister, man. He didn't love you like an equal, or not like an equal, but as a living person.
Right.
Like, as I read in that other scripture, man. Life is nothing in the mind of a devil. You know, it's nothing to extinguish yours. But if you could understand that and love your people and fight for your people and take care of your people, well, then there wouldn't be kids on that border.
Yeah, right.
There wouldn't be a George Floyd, man. There wouldn't be a Breonna Taylor and things like that, man. But blacks would rather smoke weed and tweet about stop Asian hate. You know what I'm saying? You gotta really find out what you give a damn about.
Yeah, right.
If you give a damn about your people, man, you better show it. Yeah, right. Because love is not something you say. It's something you do, man.
Right.
You show it every day. You show you love your people, man, by taking care of your people.
Right.
Teaching them up in the right way and not to be wicked and sinful, man. not to hang out with people who hate them and use them, man, in communities that hate them and use them. You know what I'm saying? And outwardly hate them too, and then go and fight against their brothers who tell them, hey man, why are you fighting for this community when it openly and historically hates you? Then you would understand, man. But instead you think, there's only the human race. Black people is just a drop in the bucket. We gotta all fight for each other so we can all coexist. No, man. Then what do you call that? You're fighting a blind fight. You don't know. You don't even have an enemy because we're all on the same team, man. Right. You're dumb. You don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? And you're the reason. You're a part of the reason why those kids can get locked up on the border without anything happening to the person who locked them up, who is Joe Biden and Donald Trump and Obama and every other president who built this destructive place, man, against your people. And every time, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's so heavy, Shalaki. It's so heavy you're saying about the border. And I was just talking to, I was talking about earlier when I brought about Kamala Harris. They asked her, are you going to the border? And she was like, oh, no. You know what I'm saying?
God damn.
She's saying something like that. I'm paraphrasing right now.
Good, nice.
That's how much she hate Black, Hispanic, Native Americans. She are not our people, like Cap said. All skin folk and not, no, he said all skin folk and not kin folk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just because she Black and have some melanin, that doesn't mean she our people. That's what she really think. This is what they really think about our people, man. You know what I'm saying? They think our people are nothing, but they are really nothing.
Right.
They are nothing, like what most times say, this to spittle. They're, you know what I'm saying? So for her, to me, that really hurt me. You say, oh no, but you supposed to be a Democrat for the people, for the poor?
Good, nice, Salakia. She didn't even give a political answer. You got the charger to the laptop, Alex? She didn't even give a political answer. She was just like, no, exactly. I'm not gonna go see them niggas because she knows though that they don't. No matter what she says or what she does, now she already has the seat. 3 months later, she could say, yeah, I love Mexicans and this and that, and dummies like your Californian influencers and public figures are gonna eat it up and be like, Kamala Harris, that bad black bee, she doing it. You dummy. You goddamn dummy. You live in California where she persecuted and locked up blacks for a high score. Right. She was doing it for the numbers, not for justice. She was like, man, I don't care if there was weed in the car or not. Here, man, you could take this plea deal. You got 2 years, or I could take you to court and give you 9, or whatever the case might have been. Look, man, that's really Kamala Harris. Right. She's not a black woman. She's really a devil. She's a white woman who hates black people hates Hispanic people and would see them dead or in jail before ever coming to see them, man. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, shit. She doesn't. Now that she's got the office, she doesn't even care about what she knows. She doesn't. Her term just began. You know how short. Politicians are so goddamn slimy. You really just gotta watch them. Just keep watching them. Right. 1 minute they'll say this, the next minute they'll change. They'll do a 180. Right. And really, if you watch them long enough, you'll see how they really feel by what they really do. And I know that Kamala Harris doesn't give a damn about black people because she really locks them the hell up. Right. Even more so that she hides evidence to keep them locked up instead of exonerating them because it's gonna mess up her record. Damn. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna mess up that number she made. This man's life is a number to her, man. The years he's got to spend in jail. Wow. Nothing to Kamala Harris because Kamala Harris knows black people aren't her people.
Damn right.
Why don't black people know that about Kamala Harris? Why don't black people know that about Asians? You know what I'm saying? And goddamn, Asians don't even like Asians. I can't stop bringing this up enough, man. Yeah. They do not even like themselves. They view each other. They view themselves as different entities and races and nationalities, man. Right. Soon enough, you're gonna see this stop Asian hatred thing and break it into stop Chinese hate, stop Japanese hate, stop Korean hate, man. They hate each other. Chinese people hate Japanese people. Japanese people hate Chinese people. Koreans hate both of them. And good night. And all three of them hate Vietnamese people and Filipinos and so on and so on and Indians. I seen an article today Captain Kahan posted about how the Asian community is like, Kamala Harris, what are you gonna do about all this Asian hatred, this and that? And you know what? I know Kamala Harris is gonna say something about that. I know she is, because even though there's 12 Asian voters, Asians don't even vote in this country also. Even though she's only getting 12 Asian votes, she's going to do it to fool black people. So black people feel better, because black people are up in arms about what's happening to 4 Asian people, 6 Asian people.
Right.
Hundreds, thousands of kids on the border. Hundreds and thousands of men being murdered by police.
Right.
And good night, the goddamn illegal lockups and trumped up charges blacks and Hispanics have to go through, thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. And not one movement, not one hashtag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
6 Asians, 2 handfuls of Asians. We gotta stop all this Asian hate, y'all.
We gotta stop it.
We got a real problem. You're a dummy. You're not smart. You don't really know who's being hurt in this country or on this planet. You don't really know who needs help. You know what I'm saying? And that's because you're dumb and you're a Christian and you don't know no better. And that's why the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge is here.
Damn right.
To educate you, so you can understand who needs it, who needs a hashtag, who needs outspoken vocal, support.
Damn right.
Not a goddamn Asian man. That's for goddamn sure. That's for sure. Where you at in that?
Verse 18.
Keep reading.
What agreement is there between the hyena and the dog?
What do I have to agree with this dog about? What do I got to agree? Well, I don't have to agree or deal with any other nation outside of my own.
You're right.
That's who I bat for. I bat especially for you ignorant ones out there. I bat for you too, because you don't know no better. So much slavery and oppression is happening to you that you think that you are in love with your slave master. But as for Chinese people, I have no agreement with them. What agreement does an Asian man have with a black man? They can't even agree on prices, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We at the goddamn corner store, they taxing the hell out of me for a bag of chips. And I'm talking to them and they say that's what it is, man. You can get it, you can hurry up and buy or get the hell out.
Right.
I have no agreement with an Asian man. I don't agree on their on their stance on how they make money, or how they conduct themselves, or what they eat. Good night, or what they try to feed my neighborhood.
Good night.
All sorts of cats and dogs and rats.
Good night, man.
Look, man, I have no agreement with these people. Keep reading.
Okay. And what peace between the rich and the poor?
Now this is heavy. This is a big one, man. This is why I know Kamala Harris is gonna respond about this Asian hatred. Or somebody, Joe Biden already has. When he first got in office, he enacted anti-Asian hate legislation. Nothing for black people, though. I wonder why. Nothing for Hispanics. I'm curious. So I wonder why. But I know Kamala Harris is going to say something because she's rich and Asian people are rich.
Yep.
And read that again,
Okay. And what peace between the rich and the poor?
And what peace between the rich and the poor? Now, there's peace between rich people. Rich people are cool. We all making money. But with poor people, they are against poor people.
Right.
Rich people know this. They're rich because of poor people. Rich people know that I only made all this money off of the backs of poor people. And that's why Kamala Harris is going to respond to this Asian hatred, because Asians are rich. They have a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
And they have to, they got to be peaceful with each other. But niggas, she'll say when they say, are you going to go to the border? She's going to say, no. Why would I go to the border? They're poor.
Right.
There is no peace between the rich and the poor, man.
Right.
The rich oppress the poor and they destroy them. Keep reading. What verse you in? 19?
Verse 19. As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor.
Look, man, the rich eat up the poor, man. Kamala Harris is eating up the poor. They're making money off of that border, the cages in those borders, man. It's called back. They getting paid off the back end. There is no way. I think it was about 4 months after that big after that big what do you call it? You know, all those brothers came across the border, man. I think about 4 months later, over 1,400 children were reported missing. They just disappeared. That's organized child trafficking. Damn. Just like what happened just like what happens all over, man. Like all the kids disappearing out of Haiti, man. They are eating up the poor, man. Eating us up. What they did to Venezuela and all those South American countries, Brazil, Mexico, good night. They put Mexico in debt and then said, you can't make no money off of selling corn. Thank God for the avocado. Otherwise, Mexico would have no money at all.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? They eat up the poor. They're eating us up, man. And you can't even realize that. You can't realize that you're in the mouth of the person you love. You know what I'm saying? You want to kiss and hug up on a white person, and you're their meal tonight. You know what I'm saying? Read verse 20, yeah, read that.
Verse 20.
No, you already read it, didn't you?
Live.
No, read it then.
As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich abhor the poor. Just
like how you've met somebody proud, right? Somebody who you can't tell them nothing, you can't ever bring them down. They hate to be humbled. The proud hate to be humbled. That's how much the rich hate the poor. You know what I'm saying? That's how much they hated that much. You know what that is? You know what that's like, man? It's a petty hatred. It's for no reason.
Right.
It's for no goddamn reason, man. You hate my brothers and sisters for no reason.
Right.
There is no Asian hatred. There is no Asian hatred. Asian people are rich in this country. My people are poor.
Right.
That's how you know there's no Asian hatred. Give me good night. Give me 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 54. There's no Asian hatred, man. You count 6 bodies, and most of them, 6 Asian bodies, I believe. Over how many years? Over how many years? There are 10 white people died last night. Mm-hmm. There's no white hatred. You know what I'm saying? White people kill white people like it ain't nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's no Asian hatred either. I don't know how. I have not seen no. Good night. I see a couple of Asian people get beat up on the street. They was probably talking fly. I know how they talk. I ain't gonna cap. Look, they was probably talking out the side of their mouth, bumping gums out the side of their neck. You know what I'm saying? And it went down. The devils don't play that, especially on somebody they feel that they're over.
Oh yeah.
They don't even play it on other devils. That's why they shot down that man shot down that couple in the snow. You know what I'm saying? But a couple videos come out of some Asians getting beat up. We show videos of blacks getting beat up all the goddamn time by the police that they call, if not get murdered by them. Now it's Stop Asian Hate. Ridiculous. And I wouldn't give a damn if it was just Asians and white people doing it. But there are actively blacks and Hispanics out there trying to fight their own brothers and sisters, man, over an Asian who is not oppressed in this country.
Right.
Damn.
You got that for me, Al?
Come good. The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6.
Hold that. We're going to save that to the end. Go ahead, Al.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, who whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures. Of him come we all.
All right. Now Esdras is talking to the Lord. He's saying, Adam, you made him Lord over all of your creatures. And out of him came everybody. You know, we all came out of Adam. Keep reading.
Okay. Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
And also the people that you chose. So-called blacks, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, God chose them out of every other nation on the earth, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
Okay. Verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
The Lord made the world for your sake. So-called black man, so-called Hispanic man, so-called Native American Indian man. He made the world for your sake.
Right.
But you're over here worried about Asians.
Right.
You're over here worried about somebody who doesn't even God doesn't even recognize. God cares about you. You care about Asians. How about you care about the Lord and care about your people?
Right.
How about you care about that? You supposedly love God. Well, show you love God and love what He loves. Show that you love God. Show that you love God and humble yourself and be with your brothers, man. Instead of being a lust-filled bastard and going off with every other nation that comes across.
Right.
Be like that, man. Love God, love your brother, man. Not love every Chinese man who gets beat up for God knows what reason. Right. Oh man, I almost forgot to bring up. Speaking of beating up, where are all the how quickly we forget, but not us. There were strings of beat down videos that Asians were beating my sisters out of their salon, pouring all sorts of chemicals and things on them. But nobody outside of that small community and those women's families went to war against those Asians, man. Nobody did. Showing me what? That you really do you love the white man and hate your brother.
Right.
And you hate your sister. There was no goddamn hashtag on Twitter, on Facebook, or on Instagram about how those Asians were wrongfully beating my sisters up out of that disgusting hair salon they have. No uproar, no standing up, no posts, none of that. None of that. Two Asians get beat up and 6 of them get shot by a sex addict, and now we got a movement. You got something to say?
Sorry if I could.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
To your point, there was a video where it wasn't a hair salon, but it was a Chinese hair supply store.
Yeah.
And the Chinese owner came out and punched the black woman in her mouth in front of her children.
God damn.
Busted her lip. So this is in Texas. So the brothers came to the hair store to do the boycott.
Yeah.
This the next week, the sisters came out there and told the brothers who were blocking people from going to the store, trying to shut the store down financially. The sisters came back because they wanted a weave so bad. It was like, get the F out of here, who cares? And the girl who got punched in the mouth had the mark on her lip, came back and told them to leave and went back to the store, man.
Good night.
And went back to the store with black men. They was like, like on that blackity black, Panther type stuff. But they still showed up to try to defend and protect the black woman. And they were so caught up on getting their hair, that fake hair, they cursed out the brothers saying, get the hell out of here. We got to get our hair. You just causing trouble.
Good night.
Real talk, man.
Yeah, Cal, go ahead.
Just to that point, that just goes to show how this Stop Asian Hate outcry is nonsense, because we obviously love them. We love their culture. We love anime. We love their food. We love their music. K-pop. We love we love their services, even though they don't do nothing for our community. Right. But when George Floyd was killed, there was an Asian cop was one of the many cops that stood by and turned their back. They wasn't crying "Stop Black Hate."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They was
Hey, hey, damn right, you exactly right on that. You know that's really crazy. It shows me how much my people devalue themselves, man, and how much you elevate every other nation around you, man. Every other nation around you, you think is better than you. That's the only reason you can get socked in your mouth by the store owner. And then brothers actually step up for you and show that they love you and are willing to fight for you. And then a few days later, you're back buying from that same store owner who punched you in the mouth. Damn, Lord forbid it be a brother that punched you. You're gonna. Oh yeah. You're crazy. Lord forbid it be a brother like that. There's gonna be a drive-by. There's gonna be blood feuds. Police. Good night. Police. Instantly.
Right.
Instantly. Where's the goddamn police for him? Why is that store owner not in jail, man? Blacks and Hispanics, you don't love yourself, man. You don't value yourself. The Lord has put you above these other nations, man.
Right.
They're supposed to be under your feet. You know what I'm saying? Worshiping the ground that you walk on.
Right.
And you're over here breaking your neck to serve them and elevate them. You got something, Knock?
Oh, Salakia. Like if it was a brother that punched the sister in the mouth, it would have been all over the news that the black man is unprotected and
God.
the black man.
Where is the black man?
But she just fended away her protectors for a week.
For a week.
Damn.
For hair that is not her own.
Damn right.
I would be bald.
Indian hair.
I would go bald. I don't know. I'm not a woman. Look, I'm not a woman. But I know what really matters in life.
Right.
I feel like at least to this manner of disrespect, I know that she, oh my goodness. She good night.
It's like if I could.
Got rid of the protector, the men for hair. For hair. Go ahead, please. Preach. Go ahead.
So what's heavy about what you're saying is like the scriptures say that he struck the daughters of Zion with baldness, right? And it's deep because we were taking on the cultures of other people, and because of the pride of our women, he took away their hair, which is their glory,
Right.
and now they have to go to other nations to try to cover up what the Lord did to them.
Right.
And instead of coming back and loving their men, and like how Carl Kazai said, accepting the protection and the rulership of black men,
Right.
they rather put on the veneer or the appearance of a fake glory from the people that hate them.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's really deep. You know what I'm saying? Like how Captain Yakas always say, we need to take our whipping from the Lord and just accept it. Accept the spank and the punishment.
Right.
And let the Lord decide to give us mercy to, like how priest Barak Yah said, and have them under our feet and put us back on top. But instead we keep, it's like how he said, not showing brotherhood to each other. We keep running back to give our love to these nations, and we get more punishment. We get more rejection because we're a nation not desired. They're going to keep reminding us that we don't mess with y'all. We don't like y'all. But y'all should still love us.
Right.
Damn, if I could, off the priest's point was so heavy. Like I like to use this, man. Israel like to run after a woman they can never be with. You know what I'm saying? A woman giving a little attention, you know what I'm saying, for a meantime to keep your attention, you know what I mean? But overall, you would never be with her. You would never be part of America. You would never be part of Asian culture, Indian culture, African culture. You would never be part of it, but you still try to. You know what I'm saying? You gotta grow your loins and be with your own people, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stop chasing after that whore, because America is a whore. Stop chasing after that whore and get with a righteous woman. Get with the truth, man.
She for the streets.
She for the streets.
She is for the streets.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's right. All these
That's
other-
right.
all these other nations.
All right.
Yeah, all these other nations, man, they are for the streets, man. But you like a whore. That's why you're with her. That's why you're trying to get with all these other nations. They don't even like you, man. They're gonna cheat on you and call the cops on you. This is metaphorical, but you know, the Chinese, man, every other nation don't give a damn about you. So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. They don't give a damn about you. And that's something you got to realize before you can actually start to love yourself and one another, man. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting punched in the face and you're going to keep, but you'll take a punch from this brother, from this heathen. But, you know, if your man don't come home on time, you're going to call the police and report the car stolen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Until you start to realize what's truly important and what true love is and who loves you and who doesn't, then you're always gonna be a fool and you're always gonna be destroying your community instead of building it up, man.
Right.
You're gonna be destroying your family instead of building it up,
Right.
like you ought to be as a righteous man and woman of the Lord of Israel, man.
Damn right.
You got something to add?
Yeah, I got a scripture to bring out real quick, man. Real quick.
The one you talking about?
Yeah.
earlier? I
You wanna
want to
say
finish.
that
I
one?
want to. Yeah,
No
I
sweat.
want to finish this one. And
Okay, no sweat.
then hit that, and we gonna be out. You know what I'm saying? Where you at in the second address?
Verse 55.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wait, verse 56. Salaki.
Yeah.
Verse 56. As for the other people, which also come from Adam,
Chinese people. Keep read it again.
which also come from Adam.
Say the other people.
As for the other people, which also come from Adam,
This is your Chinese people, your Asian people, your Koreans, your Filipinos, your Iraqis, your Norwegians, your Englishmen, whoever, every other people that isn't in the 12 tribes of Israel.
right?
What are they? Keep reading.
Thou hast said that they are nothing.
The Lord has said that they are nothing, man. They're nothing. And this next precept is going to prove how much that some are so terrible that they're worse than nothing. This is even read what Officer and Priest of Buns got you.
Yeah, I'm
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 3. And Ammonite
is the so-called Japanese, man.
or Moabite
Chinese.
shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
So Black, Hispanic, and Americans, they would not be in the congregation of the Lord. What is the congregation of the Lord? It's Israel. It's said in the Bible.
That's
Right.
right.
They will not be part of Israel. They will not be a part of you.
That's
You
right.
understand? So stop trying to be up for Asian rights. Go ahead, Op.
Come on. Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever.
Right. So they will never be righteous to the Lord. They will not come into the body of Christ, man. You know why? Because they are heathens. That's why.
Right.
You understand? They're heathens. You know why? We judge by the crimes they did to our people. The things they doing to other people, they going off the backs of white people. You know what I'm saying? It's like the so-called white man, the oppressor. They are beneficial off that, man. You know what I'm saying? What they did to our people, his story time, I heard it, you know what I'm saying? They use our people to build a China wall.
That's right.
You understand? They will never be part of the congregation of the Lord. Who are part of the congregation of the Lord is Black, Hispanic, Native Americans, man.
That's
Stop
right.
trying to include everybody in the Lord congregation, man. Stop it. Stop it. Come back into the Lord and show real brotherhood. Show brotherhood to that black, that so-called black man, that so-called Hispanic man, that so-called Native American man. With a man, you know what I'm saying? If he say, "Now, don't be with a so-called white woman, so-called Asian woman," don't come back and be like, okay, what about this, man? Don't try to call him on his flaws, man, because he's trying to help you out. The Most High said, if you be with them, if you be with a different nation, meaning you be with a white woman, Asian woman, that you would take the children you had with them away from the truth, man.
Right.
That's what he said. Get with your own people, man. Get with your own people. That's the matter of that's the conclusion of it all, man. Get with your own people. Stop trying to include them.
Right.
Because an Asian man and an Asian woman will not be in the congregation of the Lord.
That's right.
It's like,
Hey, no, you to wild priest. And with that, we're gonna conclude tonight's class. I'm gonna pass it to Trooper Calcazar for the announcements.
These are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After the 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Ma'ashara means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund is a free will offering for priests. It's not mandatory. It's whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We have the 52nd annual Passover coming up on the 14th day of the first month. April 24th? Come on, sir. In Houston, Texas. Can we find in Exodus chapter 12, verses 1 through 51, Leviticus chapter 23, verses 4 and 5, 1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 7 and 8, and 2 Chronicles chapter 30, verse 17. Remind Akim and Akwakin to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And this concludes ISUPK security announcements.
All right, Israel, shalom. That's the end of the class. Join us tomorrow night with Officer Kahan Gabar. He'll be teaching the Wednesday night law class.
that's right.
Shalom.